What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today we've got some brand spanking new Destiny 2 news, courtesy of the Bungie weekly update that has just gone live, revealing official information. And so, let's get started. Now, first things first, what's been going on this week within Destiny 2? Well, let's go over the elephant in the room, because usually I go over the news of everything that's happened since the last weekly update, but we didn't have an update last week because it was postponed due to the turmoil going on at Bungie. There was mass layoffs, Pete Parsons, the CEO, got kind of exposed for spending millions of dollars on cars while also claiming he did everything he could to save money for the company. It was a whole thing, guys, and if you're unfamiliar with the situation, I'll link my video going over the official statement right up above if you want to check that out, but I'm not going to go over it more in this video because things are a bit bleak, to say the least. But let's continue from there. On this Tuesday weekly reset, we had the launch of the Solstice of Heroes 2024 event. If you guys want to know how this event works at a base level, and especially how to unlock the Solstice armor sets, kind of the thing that these events are known for, well, there's an entirely new system to unlock them involving the Solstice Forge. If you want to know how that works, I've done a full guide on the process and a bunch of tips to help you do it more efficiently, linked right up above. But continuing from there, let's just jump into the brand new information within the TWAB, because Bungie continues from this point. First of all, they do talk about Solstice of Heroes, showing off the armor sets with the glows and so on, and they also talk about the brand new weapon, the Fortunate Star Legendary Bow. Now, interestingly, this is only the second bow in the entire game that can get kill clip, which is pretty darn cool. It can also get a precision instrument. It can get a repulsor brace in the first column combined with destabilizing rounds, and I did do a video going over some of those god rolls. Check it out, it's linked right up above. But something else about Solstice that's really important that actually a lot of people don't know about is how to get Solstice weapons with double perks. So how that works is all involving the bounties within your Solstice Forge. So guys, once you actually get the ability to craft a certain armor piece, then the bounties will actually start dropping high stats of that particular armor piece. So if you craft your helmet, the helmet bounties will now drop like 60 plus stat helmets, or at least they have a chance to. But once you craft all of your Solstice armor, so every single piece, head, arms, chest, etc., then as you can see, the bounties actually update yet again, and now they have a chance to give you bonus perk Solstice weapons, as you can see. So once you do craft all your armor, now you can keep accepting these bounties and, for example, grind Bonfire Bash to farm the weapons on top of completing the bounties, which are going to have the chance to give you even more weapons, this time with double perks. So just something to note. However, something else that's going to happen when you complete your Solstice armor grind is that once you've unlocked the glows for every single armor piece, you're then going to be awarded the Solstice Memento. And here is an image of what this memento is actually going to look like on your weapons. But moving on from there, guys, something else absolutely massive that happened again on this Tuesday weekly reset was update 8.0.5. This changed a lot of things, and Bungie goes over a lot of these changes in more detail within the TWAB. So some of the important things that they actually don't mention but you should absolutely know about are as follows. So first of all, a bunch of PvP Crucible changes. You can pause and read them right here. Just get changes to score and clash and all this other stuff. But in terms of abilities, dual destiny is very important. So the exotic mission that you get, the exotic class items, well, they actually added a guaranteed powerful tier 1 exotic class item reward the first time you're doing it each week per character. So it's 100% worth now doing dual destiny once per character if you can, to get those double drops that first time, right? But Moving on from there, guys, in terms of ability tuning, you can see all the different stuff right here. The main ones that stand out is that the amount of super energy gained from rocket sidearms was reduced by about 20%, so you're not going to be getting your super quite as fast. For the Titan, Hammer of Soul and Twilight Arsenal got some big damage buffs, and they also, thank goodness, fixed an issue for Twilight Arsenal where it would just track the weirdest directions, or at least they say they did. And also, guys, Hunter Threat Inspector got nerfed pretty big as well. But continuing from there to the weapons and armor tuning, Bungie actually dives into these changes in more depth within the TWAB. So first of all, for the weapon changes, we have aggressive scout rifles. They increase their PvE damage by 30%, and the Dead Man's Tail is affected by this change. Honestly, I'm thinking of the new Vex aggressive scout rifle that can get heal clip plus incandescent, an insane combo. I did a video on it. That doing 30% more damage is crazy. After that, really weird change here to the legendary heavy burst pulse rifles. They apparently displayed the wrong RPM when inspected. They should be in line with the Revision 0 and Graviton Lance. So what they did is they corrected an issue where these weapons were displaying their RPM as 395 instead of 300. So it's only like a visual thing. They didn't actually nerf these. However, as part of an unrelated change, the Graviton Lance had its fire rate actually slowed in-game, and this is an unintentional nerf. So they are going to fix this, but yeah, the Graviton is just worse right now by accident. Moving on from there, for sniper rifles, they reduced the flinch taken from PvE combatants by 50%. This is huge when it comes to using snipers for like raid boss DPS. Any raid boss that shoots back at you, it can be brutal lining up those consistent headshots. Moving on from there, guys, glaives have had their melee damage in PvE increased by 20%. That's no joke as well. So are glaives back on the menu? Honestly, maybe. Moving on from there, for lightweight shotguns, they corrected an issue where the lightweight shotguns were not receiving the lightweight intrinsic buff to movement speed and mobility. So if you've been using the Reese Walker, for example, and going, man, I'm just not moving as fast as I was, that should be fixed as of this week. Moving on from there, for rocket-assisted frame sidearms, so they actually corrected an issue that was allowing them to progress ammo finders as if they were primary weapons. So although this is kind of a bug fix, they are going to be worse. You are going to be finding a special ammo via those finders less often with those rocket-assisted frame sidearms, and I know that certainly running 2 rocket-assisted frame sidearms is kind of a common thing people do, so that whole build is going to be worse now moving forward in terms of ammo economy. Now, after that, people really didn't like this one. They nerfed the mountaintop a bit. They added a speed limit to the acceleration applied to the player when rocket jumping with the mountaintop. Very unfortunate, guys. So yeah, you're just not going to go as fast, as high with the mountaintop if you're using it to speed run or get to somewhere higher where you weren't able to get before. So yeah, keep that in mind. And one last change for PvP, specifically for precision bows. They've increased the base damage from 84.6 to 90 and the crit damage from 126.9 to 130.5. So precision frame bows are just gonna hit harder, potentially worth revisiting those in PvP with certain damage increases. Like you could have some kind of saucy combos that just became viable. After that, in terms of the exotics, so for the duality shotgun, they corrected an issue where it was not using the slug shotgun ADS damage fall off scaler. For the conditional finality, they reduced the base handling by 15, and you can no longer freeze players who are in a Well of Radiance. This was actually a bug apparently, as players who are in Well of Radiance should not be able to be frozen by any source, but we held off correcting it until Well of Radiance had been brought down in its PvP effectiveness. After that, the Ariana's Vow exotic hand cannon is now going to slap a lot harder, 67% more damage against barrier champion shields, so you should break those really fast. And then for the Bastion, they corrected an issue where the Bastion was not spawning with ammo in the Crucible. Moving on from there, guys, to the perks. For the recombination perk, they corrected an issue where the perk would sometimes deactivate before dealing the bonus damage. Thank goodness. For threat remover, they've increased the buff duration from 5 to 7 seconds and reduced the pellets to proc from 12 to 11 and added a handling scaler. So threat remover is quite a bit better. After that, for adept weapon mods. So this is actually a crazy one. They removed the penalty for all of the adept mods: adept counterbalance, adept mag, adept targeting. So if you have an adept weapon and you are holding off on using adept mag, now there's no reason not to use adept mag, right? Like, that's actually crazy. However, because of that, adept targeting now only gives 7 bonus aim assist instead of 10. But after that, guys, Bungie actually provides some upcoming changes that are going to be arriving in Episode 2 Revenant. So they're going to be buffing underperforming subfamilies like adaptive submachine guns and rapid fire heavy grenade launchers. They're going to be greatly increasing shotgun range in PvE, so time to go grind some good shotguns. Then there's going to be buffs to numerous underutilized exotic weapons, and they list some: Huckleberry, Chaperone, Bad Juju, Exdirus, Prospector, and perks. So Iron Banner, specific perks, Slideways, Alloy Mag, Master of Arms is getting a buff. Definitely some interesting stuff. And then they end with saying a significant weapon mod rework with the addition of 10 plus new mods. 10 more weapon mods arriving next episode. That's actually crazy. Like, if these are notable mods, because right now, after they removed, you know, major spec, boss spec, minor spec, for PvE, everyone basically just put on backup mag. It's now clearly the only choice for PvE for so many weapons. So this could really shake things up. Like, this could be really cool. After that, guys, let's go over the armor changes. So for the Hunter, for the Radiant Dance Machines, they fixed an issue where players could repeatedly activate the Ascension aspect when they had these equipped. For the Warlock, this is a big one, guys. The Getaway Artist will no longer grant grenade energy on Arc Soul hit while the player has Devour active. So that was a huge nerf to the Warlock Getaway, like, companion build there. After that, guys, for Spirit of Star Eater, for the Solipsism, they fixed an issue where the super damage bonus from Spirit of the Star Eater was being applied to ignitions caused by Song of Flame. And then also for Spirit of Osmiancy, they fixed an issue where Vortex grenades were granting more energy back than intended with the Spirit of Osmiancy. I definitely did have a build I was working on where I would just throw a Vortex grenade at certain enemies, like powerful enemies. You just get your grenade back every single time because of the damage over time. Kind of unfortunate though, like, come on, Bungie. After that, guys, for the reserve armor mods, they corrected an issue allowing swapping off reserve mods to retain a higher ammo count than the current one, so they nerfed rallying on reserves. The reserve ammunition for all weapon types has been increased by up to 15% to account for this, and the cost of reserve mods for your armor has been reduced by 1 across the board. Now, they say for some upcoming changes, guys, they have updates to some underperforming perks on the exotic class items, particularly for Titans. Could be interesting. This is bad news, though, because my Vault is already suffering with all the rolls. You're telling me all of the trash rolls, all of the Spirit of Hoarfrost rolls I deleted are gonna be buffed? Oh no. Okay, after that, guys, there's buffs and reworks to underused exotic armor pieces, so Blight Ranger, Mask of the Quiet One, Skull of Dire Ahamkara, and more. Plenty of other small tweaks to exotic armor aiming to improve meaningful utility boosts. Very interesting. Now, after that, there's a section called Pathfinder Feedback and Weekly Bright Dust. So they say, since the launch of the final shape, we've been monitoring how Guardians are interacting with the new Pathfinder system in ritual playlists. We've seen some great feedback concerning Pathfinder in the Pale Heart destination, but we're still in the process of fine-tuning the system for Crucible, Gambit, and Vanguard playlist. So they say we've made a few changes over Acts 1 and 2 to help address this feedback, such as ensuring there will always be a way to complete Pathfinder cards purely through PvE gameplay. We've also addressed some overly specific objectives, an example being the requirement of Cabal kills in strikes, which was generalized to progress on any enemy faction. We still have some things to touch on, but those are some examples of changes made so far. They say looking into the near future, discoverability and general progression are among the top priorities. We want players to be able to find the Pathfinder more easily. The node is a bit small, we agree, and we want objectives to better align with the activities they're set for. Getting 10 grenade kills in PvP without dying is a bit too much of a challenge. Some challenges will be a bit quicker to ship, while others will take time, so to stay tuned for updates on our progress. As we continue to absorb and address player feedback, we still want to make sure players were earning XP and Bright Dust at expected rates. We had no intentions of reducing either of these rewards when moving from bounties to the Pathfinder system. We've already started one form of a make good through increases to weekly well-rested XP, but we have another that started this week with Destiny 2 Update 8.0.5 to address Bright Dust. As of this Tuesday, players can visit the Eververse store to claim 350 Bright Dust each week up to the start of maintenance for Episode 2 on October 8th. Each deposit is only there for 1 week, so be sure to pick yours up each week before the weekly reset. We'll have more news to share on Pathfinder changes in the coming weeks. Thank you to all who have given feedback. And then lastly, guys, there is a Bungie Day 2024 wrap-up. Definitely a bit awkward celebrating Bungie Day right now after all the issues that happened last week, but they have an extremely heartfelt thank you talking about the total of $2 million raised for charity. They also have some more information and some shout outs right here that you can see on your screen. And guys, that is going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.